have to hit the bell. I don't think, I mean, I guess I do for now, theoretically. There you go. There's the bell. I guess I'll hit that bell. I don't know. Soon the bell won't be relevant. The beep will only be.
Maybe that's what you hit. Like the bell won't ding.
Yeah, the bell right now it's there you go, but then later it's just that's what you get right there. Get a little of that right there. So that's probably where we're going to be at. I think here real soon. They're just decimated, man. They're just decimated by injury, and so you already knew that Malik Osborne was gone, He McLeod was gone, and find out before the game Anthony Polite's out. You're like, well, what are we doing around here? We got some guys.
I would have loved to have seen him win it for Prieto because he played his ass off.
He did play his ass off, and that's a cool story. You can read that story on Warchant.com. Corey Clark wrote it about Harrison Prieto. Look, if you think about where Florida State was at going into this game and then the added insult to injury, Wake Forest got two guys back for this game while Florida State was steady losing guys. That hurts, and it did too. It's weird. Despite some really awful shooting here, Florida State was, in a position at halftime to maybe go on and win the game. By the way, I don't know, Tom, if you were paying close attention. I don't know if anybody was paying close attention to this game. Florida State was a cool 7 for 34 from the field in the first half and 2 of 11 from 3.
Yeah, and Wake couldn't stop turning the ball over. It was, it felt like 2011 all over again.
Wake had 18 turnovers in the first half. That's crazy. Which, of course, gave us an edge, 12-6 in points off of turnovers. Wake controlled the game on the glass. Outside shooting wasn't as accurate as they were in that first meeting we faced them. They were 10 of 25 from the field, 2 of 10 from 3. Remember the first time we played them, they couldn't miss. So this at least saw them come back down to earth. But, listen, bottom line is Florida State didn't have enough. And you could see that the guys that were out there, Caleb Mills in particular, were just exhausted. I mean, I thought by the end of the game, I think it was at the 62-58 was the score with about 3 minutes to play. And you're right there. You're thinking, okay, what's it going to take to get over the hump? And it's just nobody.
Push us over the hump.
Yeah.
We need a Reggie Bush push.
We didn't have anything. There was just nothing left in the tank. And I fear that's where this team will be in most of these close game situations, given the personnel drop off and what they're dealing with. It's, you had John Butler roll his ankle in the first half, was on the bench the entire second half. I mean, again, so you lose Butler, who's going to be vital towards any sort of success you have moving forward, because I think his skill set really plays moving forward. He's a very good player. But he misses the entire second half, and he can really shoot it. So that's just a problem. Really just tough to compete in that situation.
It feels like September, and you're not going to play playoff baseball. Rosters expand. Let's take a look at what the kids can do. And we already know because we rotate a lot of players here, but it's what can Jalen Worley be by the end of the year? What can he learn? And what more exposure can he have to big situations, and will he respond? Butler, the same way. If he's healthy enough, you got to see some growth there. You hope in the midst of all this, you get news that Malik Osborne will be back for another season, because he can be. These are the things. This year's a strike. It's just a strike. And this team was already fundamentally flawed before the season started. We talked about that. There just aren't answers. When Balsa left, it created a huge void in the way we want to play, in the way we want to rotate. We didn't quite fill it, and Gom being hurt for the beginning of the season made that all the worse.
Raekwon Gray leaving as well hurt.
That hurt.
That hurt a lot. I mean,
that was quasi-expected, though, last year. The Balsa one was.
He could have come back. Yeah, the Balsa one killed us. Would also note this. Somebody asked me about it last night. I did the smash with Corey Clark on Warchant TV, and you can find that link on warchant.com. But somebody posted and wondered, was I disappointed in some of the veteran players that did come back this year? So Raekwon Evans, or if you want to talk about, obviously, Wyatt Wilkes. That would be a resounding yes to the latter. But again, absolutely useless in this game at a time where you could use a little help.
Well, and that's the thing. If he was at least a streaky player, like in previous years, then you're going to win a couple ACC games just because he catches fire, and that's not been the case.
No, he was 0 for yesterday, over the weekend. 0 for. Not the first time I've had to say that when I looked at the stat line. So between that and then having Malik Osborne get hurt and all that, so just the veteran players didn't do anything for us. It's unfortunate. The loss marks the first time that FSU's been swept in the regular season since by an opponent in the ACC since 2015, 2016. Miami did that. First time that we've been swept by Wake Forest since the 07-08 seasons.
I was a junior in undergrad.
Tough times. We have now lost 3 games at home this year. I think that's maybe the toughest pill to swallow, that the incredible home record over the last 5 years is being sullied by this lackluster play that we see from this team now for myriad reasons. But that's the most in the way of losses that we've suffered since the 2015-2016 season. That's how good they've been at home. That these losses at home are stunning. They just simply haven't happened. 4-game losing streak. It's our first since 2015-2016. We had a 5-game losing streak that year in February.
That was Beasley Bacon year, the one time we had them both.
Yep. And so, golly, it's crazy. Listen, you lose a player to injury for the year, it hurts you. Phil Kofer was a good example of that. He had to shut it down with that chronic ankle issue and all that. So, I mean, you lose guys like that, it can come back to haunt you.
But there's a great example of a player who early in his career, he had that one night against Duke where it was like, whoa, who is this guy? He just elevates. But other than that, you were wondering early in his career at Florida State, what is he really going to amount to in terms of minutes and production? And by the time he left, he was beloved. He was a big piece to the puzzle. And then sadly, he missed the tournament back in 2019.
Killed us, yeah. It really hurt.
It was really, it's a sad situation. But that's the reminder that I have for myself right now. As I'm getting mad / maybe worried for the program, they develop here. They kick ass. Leonard is going to have to, and he said it openly in a media setting not too long ago, he's going to have to adapt, bring in more transfers that are older and veterans because he's seeing Florida did it, Wake Forest did it, other schools, Miami. He's probably going to have to adapt to that in the transfer portal, and then NIL is going to play a role in this thing. So the kind of player that we always get good ones, more than Florida State should get, at least from a reputation standpoint in the previous 10, 15 years. Where does he spend those resources and time in terms of his ability to recruit? And that's what we're going to see this offseason.
It's going to be fascinating because you are seeing a precipitous drop-off in terms of the level of talent that is here currently. And if you just look at what the player rankings were coming in and, in previous seasons.
Not a great class upcoming, too, from the high school ranks.
So
how do you answer for it?
Right.
And that's where you got to hit the portal hard.
So 6 other games on Saturday. Duke shot out to a 23-point lead, extended it to 28 at one point, and they crushed North Carolina. Did you watch any of that game? My goodness gracious. 87-67 over UNC at the Dean Dome. That's a stranglehold on first place as they're beginning to develop. I say stranglehold. It's less than a game. But Miami dropped its second game as they fell 71-58 at the JPJ. Can't just roll on into the JPJ. Virginia
Blinding beauty.
Yeah. Notre Dame moved into second place with a 69-57 win against NC State. Syracuse has now moved into a tie with us because they routed Louisville. I took a chance on Louisville over the weekend, Tom. I couldn't get there on the number. I hated the line because Syracuse is not a real good basketball team in my estimation. And they were given, at one point, one book gave me 8 points to take Louisville. And I'm like, Louisville's bad, but they're fighting. They've been fighting. But I took a guess. Is this the day they quit fighting and lay down, or do they continue to fight one last time and they're in the game? And I bet on them being in the game. Whoopsie. They decided this was the one they were going to go ahead and lay down. They were a bit too tired to continue that fight.
So you're saying it's not a bad beat.
Not a bad beat. I took an ass kicking. And I will tell you something. There's nothing better than if you're going to lose a bet to know it within the first 10 minutes. The final of that game was 92-69, and I knew that score would be something around 92-69 about 5 minutes into the game. It's like, oh, okay, this is what we got going here. We're going to move on. Good thing I bet 10 games today and not one. That's why you bet volume. So that's what you got to do.
You have 10 games going on Saturday?
I had 7 games in basketball and a couple in golf and a couple other things going on. I like to get down, Tom. It's the weekend.
Well, that's not breaking news.
We have some fun. So there you go. The ACC standings really quickly. Duke, Notre Dame, Wake, Miami, North Carolina, Virginia, and there is Florida State. Losers of 4 straight, 6-6 down here, middling with the other losers, and tough times.
Here I thought I would have gotten a better table at the reception. Instead, I'm by the door.
You have to hope we can get to, the ding-ding, plop down on our lawn in the lawn chair, these days, probably with the weather being what it is, roasting marshmallows. I don't know. I was going to say hanging out, having cocktails, but probably not roasting marshmallows. Maybe drinking a good porter, a robust porter, maybe.
Would the Ding Ding drink that?
Oh, that's true.
The Ding Ding would double down on the Busch Light, I think.
Yeah, that's a little hoity-toity, isn't it? Ding Ding. So
don't even throw it in the refrigerator. Just leave it outside.
Tough times. Come on, get on the Ding Ding. Come on, I'll drive you around. Smoke them if you got them. So, yeah, now you got to play all the new guys. And hope like hell we make the Ding Ding. By the way, Joe Lenardi's latest bracketology has Notre Dame as the first 4 out along with Florida. So,
Ouch. So we'd have to finish in the silver medal position in the conference.
Yeah.
Unless we have one magic week in Brooklyn, New York.
You're counting on that magic week.
Harrison Prieto.
I am not
17 of 21 from 3.
It was a good weekend, late in the week and then weekend, as we saw some Noles really elevate their stock. Jermaine Johnson, man. I know we talked about this at the end of last week, but just continued to kick ass. And there's a kid that he's going to go in the first round, Tom. He's going to go in the first round. The mocks are everywhere. The mocks came out all over the weekend. I was like, oh, there's another mock. We can start having fun. We can mock the mocks.
It's that season again.
It is that season. You'll have to get the soundbite ready to go because it's time to mock the mocks. It's going to be good. And I can let everybody know, by the way, as we start the show today, Tom and I just came from, and I don't like to give company secrets, a little peek behind the curtain, big meeting with the Warchant Upper Brass. We were all there, and we were starting to navigate.
Where were we?
We were at Bumpus.
Oh,
yeah, we were at Bumpus.
Local 349.
Yes, we were. We were there at Bumpus. Great locale, great food, great people. Unfortunately, we really couldn't enjoy all that Bumpus has to offer because we were working and we had to be back here. But I'll tell you, it was nice to start to scratch the surface on 2 subject matters as we were starting to kind of figure out what we're going to be doing for the spring game. And our coverage of the spring game, you and I have been tabbed, of course, as always, being the expert pair that we are, to do the pregame show for the spring game, amongst other duties.
That was my concentration in school. Pregame show management.
Yeah. And look how it's paid off. So here we go. We get the pregame show for spring game, and then we're talking about the different angles and the stories and the subjects and all that on and off the camera. I got excited. It pumped me up. I was like, okay, here we go. A lot of people thought we were doom and gloom at the end of last week, but I don't think we were. We were just having a realistic conversation about what's right to expect from Florida State for the upcoming season and the foreseeable future.
And for college football, too. And that was a question I saw in the chat from Go Noles, who's asking about, what is the sport going to look like in a handful of years? College football playoff expansion versus, conference poaching, whatever. Is there going to be a reclassification of the sport that's separate other college athletics? And so therefore you're not subject to Title IX restrictions on how much you can spend on players from a university standpoint. Then you got the NIL legislation in Florida. Next thing you know, it's basically Lou Holtz. And you're going, oh my God, there's so much to break down. But the best thing that ever happened to spring football is the transfer portal. We've got so many new players here that can contribute right away that puts the pep in my step to cover spring practice. I want to see if these guys are for real. We knew early on that Jermaine Johnson was going to be a different type of player for us on the defensive line. I thought the same of Keir Thomas in spring. So who's going to be that player this year? Is it Johnny Wilson? Is it Pittman? Is that receiving core that's overhauled? Is it a different set?
It's the kid from West Virginia is what it's going to be.
Is it Tatum Bethune?
Yeah. It'd be nice to have answers at very key positions where we didn't have answers a year ago. And I think you're naming 2 spots that specifically got upgrades, and at least in the form of one particular player at the linebacker position. And then obviously we've got 3 or 4 guys to really look at with the receivers.
Jared Verse has 3 years. Is he ready for prime time just yet?
That's a big if. We don't know. I know the work ethic is there. I know the mindset is there. I know the focus is there. I know the want to is there. So he brings with him a certain amount of intensity and what for and desire. So I don't want to count that as a guy that I can just assume will be out there, but also I'm not going to discount that he could take a big leap forward, and he's going to need to. Different level of football he's about to step into here, but body type wise, he's 250 plus. He's a guy that wants to get bigger and stronger. He's willing to put in the time. He likes hard coaching. Okay. All right. So let's hope he takes a magnificent leap and gives us what we need off the edge there. Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
You can save hundreds of dollars on your property taxes. Did you buy a home in Leon County last year? Then you may qualify for homestead exemption. Need to file? It's easy. Visit leonpa.org and click e-file. Mail your application or come by our office on South Calhoun Street. We'll be open extended hours for filing. The deadline to save on your property taxes is March 1st. Visit leonpa.org or call 850-606-6200.
Hi, Taco.
Hey, champ, how you doing? Pull up a pillow. Haven't seen you in a couple of days. Hey, something's different about you.
That's right. My people took me to Tally Spay, the affordable spay and neuter clinic on West Tennessee.
Tally Spay? Isn't that the place where they...
Yeah, they're a low-cost, high-volume spay-neuter clinic.
So you're saying you've had some work done?
I did. You'd think I'd be depressed, but truth is, I don't even miss them. If anything, I feel more calm. I don't feel like I have to run around looking for company, and my people can leave me alone with the couch cushions.
Hey, I can stop anytime I want.
Tally Spay, a low-cost, high-volume spay-neuter clinic open to the public, serving Tallahassee and the surrounding areas. Tally Spay. For more information and to schedule a same-day surgery and pickup, go to tallyspay.com. That's tallyspay.com.
Our friends at ISF work hard to help their clients solve the future. ISF is an integrated IT and management consulting firm located right here in Tallahassee, serving clients all across the country. With the new year upon us, ISF reminds you to create a clear strategy, optimize your process, and modernize your technology to meet all your goals in 2022. For more information, visit ISF.com. That's ISF.com. ISF, solving the future.
Stuck in an expensive timeshare contract and feel like there's no way out?
I'm almost at $10,000 in 4 years. I've never traveled anywhere.
They made this sound that this would be a really good deal, that I could go anywhere, anytime I wanted to. That never worked out.
I'm Chuck McDowell, CEO of Wesley Financial Group. I've helped thousands of people get rid of their timeshares. I know all the tricks because I'm embarrassed to say I once worked in the timeshare industry. We've saved suffering timeshare owners millions in debt and maintenance fees. When you're approved as a client, I guarantee you a 100% success rate. We'll get you out of your timeshare, eliminate your payments, and get them off of your back permanently.
I honestly would recommend that you call Wesley Financial. They will help you.
Call Wesley Financial Group now for your free information kit. If they can't get you out of your timeshare, you'll pay nothing. Call 800-600-9595. 800-600-9595. That's 800-600-9595.
This is Dr. James Ryan Finn with Finn Chiropractic, encouraging you to unmask the cause of your problem. People mask problems with medicine, even with stretching or massage. But if the cause of your problem is pressure on your nerve, you need to unmask that cause. That's what we do at Finn Chiropractic. So if you or a loved one are having neck pain, back pain, or headaches, come in, get the Phenomenal Health exam, and let us unmask the cause of your problem. Remember, chiropractor loves you, and there's nothing you can do about it.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
Jeff Cameron Show brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness. 2 Tallahassee locations, Midtown on Thomasville Road and Northside in the Village Common Shopping Center. Online at orangetheoryfitness.com.
Dominating during the 2 days that he participated in practice, the combination of strength, power, variety of moves off the edge has Johnson's stock steadily climbing. Shouldn't come as a surprise as he enters the top 15 discussion, With Derek Barnett said to become a free agent, the Eagles could be in search of a running mate for Josh Sweat. They have 3 first-round selections and are in prime position to infuse depth into multiple areas of the roster.
How about that? A couple of Noles.
Yeah, how about Josh Sweat, by the way? That's good on you.
Good for him.
Yeah.
I always enjoyed interviewing him. You never know what a player is like beyond when the tape is rolling and what you can see on the sideline. But I really enjoyed every conversation with Josh Sweat. Interesting person.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun draft for you on draft night, Director Matthew. The Eagles have picks galore. 3 first-rounders, is that right?
They've got 3. That would mean that the Giants have 3, the Jets have 3, and Philly has 3.
It's crazy.
Oh, my God. Nearly a quarter of the picks. Over a quarter of the picks.
You know what I'm looking for? Who takes Traylon Burks, a kid out of Arkansas? I loved watching him play. That kid is a beast. I wish the Bucs could get him. That's a player.
Matthew said trade all 3 for Russell Wilson.
I don't know.
Might be a little late to the party on old Russ.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see, too, with the quarterbacks. This is such a sorry – well, I mean, I've learned not to say that, but it strikes you as a bit of a sorry quarterback draft is what it –
Indeed.
I mean, because, listen –
if you're going to get one, send the picks away. He's right about that. You don't draft one in the first round.
I don't get – now, I want to be first in line to be wrong. I want to be the first person here to go ahead and stamp it as you couldn't have been more wrong, Jeff. Okay, here you go.
You just want to be first in line.
Well, I'm gonna
right or wrong.
Yeah, but I'm going to be first in line to be wrong about Malik Willis because I don't see it. I don't see it.
Unfortunately, sir, I've already been in that line because I watched him
I'm
play.
I'm bumping in because I don't. I'm telling you now, I don't see it. Every time I watch him play, I'm like, what is the big deal about this kid?
Right.
His windup takes days.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Oh, well.
I don't.
Yeah, I watched the Liberty Syracuse in preparation for
that
our
game too. He sucked.
0-4. He made 2 or 3 throws that are absurdly good, but the rest of the game, I mean, you would think if you're a quarterback,
the better arm. He's got the better arm of any of the guys. But
if you're of top 10 caliber, right, then you're leading a team like Liberty over Syracuse. It's not that big of a hurdle to climb. You should be dominating at that point, and he was just okay.
Well,
against Syracuse,
I'll tell you something. I get tired of if my favorite team is thinking about a top 7, top 8 pick here, and they're talking about quarterback, and they're debating between Kenny Pickett and Malik Willis. I'm like, well, the guys, let's move it on down the line and take an offensive lineman. I mean,
right. We're asking the wrong question.
What are we doing here? Why are we having this debate? This is a second-round debate or a third-round debate in some cases. In certain good years, it would be, but it's not a good year, so it's a first-round debate.
Yeah, let's have that debate after we've picked a good trench player. And then we'll just have the debate while we have a break.
Right. But I would tell you, I do think Kenny Pickett can play in the league.
Yeah.
I think Kenny Pickett can play in the league.
He's got a lot of throws.
No,
maybe not all of them, but he's got a lot of them.
He's got a lot of throws. I think if he goes to the right situation, Kenny Pickett can play in the league. And maybe Malik Willis can. I just haven't seen it. When I watch the Liberty stuff, I'm like,
But what's the value of Kenny Pickett at 5, or 7? That doesn't feel right.
Right. Well, I mean, again, because there are some really good skill positions available to you in this. I mean, all of it's available to you, but I'm talking about players at those positions. So, for example, Kyle Hamilton, like if you're sitting there and you need a safety and a quarterback, let's go with Kyle Hamilton. He seems like a sure thing at safety. I think that's going to work out for us. And if the person in the room doesn't believe you, show them the tape of the Florida State game and watch that guy go from one side of the field to the other in insanely fast amounts of time. It's unreal.
That particular interception, I don't even blame on Jordan. He could have let him a little bit more, but you can't expect that,
Dude's going to run from across the
here's
field.
Ed Reed, who just decided to plop on the field for one play.
Well, and then like Darryl Stingley Jr. is available in this draft. And so, again, you're going through all these guys. We're like, well, that feels like that's going to translate. He'll translate. And you're having this other debate at quarterback. I don't like it. Think about the Ohio State wide receivers that are going to be in this draft that you can get. You got edge rushers in this draft. I mentioned Traylon Burks at wide receiver out of Arkansas. I love that kid. You got him in this draft. All guys that would be better suited, I think.
Have you brought yourself to, try to put the Buccaneers hat on and think about what we need, or is it too soon? Because now the needs are many, real fast.
Well, I mean, you accept that you're about to go through the negative side of transition after having been through the positive side of transition.
But like, if you're trying to say what position do we need help? Many positions, because now I'm not so sure we're going to re-sign anybody unless we land one of the big fish. And if we land a big fish, then we're not even picking on night 1 of the NFL draft because we've used the pick to go get a big fish. It's a what's the point exercise right
well,
now.
I'll ask you, do you think the Bucs I mean, yeah, they have a lot of needs. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Best player available is how you answer the question.
Yeah, I know.
But I don't want Trent McDuffie, the corner out of Washington. I've heard people talking about us drafting. I'm like, no. If I'm going to go position of need, I'm going to start looking a little bit more again, probably linebacker. I'm going to go, I think we have a need at defensive end. I know you don't, but I think we do because JPP's gone.
I think we could use it.
Yeah, we could use it.
Absolutely.
I would always want an offensive lineman. You could draft a quarterback, but you could trade out of the first
tackle's
round.
good. Sue's not coming back now. I mean, right?
I wouldn't think.
When's that announcement coming? 5, 4, 3.
I would think, right? Offensive line, defensive line. When in doubt, you can always go that route. I will say this. So if they plan on, we think, going to go ahead and are they going to keep the receivers intact, the top two?
Right.
I mean,
It depends on who the quarterback is.
That's right.
This whole draft strategy is null and void until is it Teddy Bridgewater? Is it right? Is it Aaron Rodgers? Is it some, Cousins, too expensive? I'm not going to go down the line.
Don't want Cousins. No, this is a problem. This is a problem. Jameis.
Yep. Is it Jameis?
Everybody asked that question. I think the better question is, would Jameis come to Tampa?
That's a very good question.
I mean, I could probably be in a position to find that out, but I would.
And would Byron's hire at Jacksonville have changed that? Would it have made it more likely, less likely? What was that dynamic like?
I don't know what the dynamic was like between the two of them. I always thought they got along, but I would say this: what they asked of Jameis was suicide. Like they guaranteed that he would be moving on because they kept telling him, don't worry about interceptions, continue to throw the ball down the field. We want to stretch it. No risk it, no biscuit. They kept saying it over and over again. Then he lost receivers due to injury. They're like, don't worry about it. Keep throwing it downhill. I'm like, I don't even know that guy's name. What are you talking about? And they kept saying, throw it downfield. I mean, I would have some resentment, I think, if I were him. But I don't know if that is resentment towards Arians or is it resentment towards Byron? I don't know.
Yeah, well, basically,
the organization.
They were like telling an addict to come to the backstage of a Steely Dan show.
Yeah, it's a toughie, especially a Steely Dan show. I mean, how can I not?
Right.
It's the Jeff Cameron Show 93.3. Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Your local news now.
A man was arrested Friday after deputies say around noon, a man was shooting a water splatter gun at cars and students at Charles High School. The driver was seen both on and off campus shooting water bead projectiles at students who were walking and at students who were sitting in their vehicles. One student was hit in the arm and another student's face was grazed. Harper Colton, 18, was arrested for trespassing on school grounds, 3 counts of aggravated assault, 2 counts of aggravated battery, and violation of probation. This is an active and ongoing investigation. The Florida Department of Economic Opportunity is assessing the impact recent freezing temperatures had on the state's agricultural industry. The agency activated a survey on Friday that will help gather data and evaluate resources that affected businesses that may need to recover from last week's freeze. Governor DeSantis said during a press release that the state will help farmers affected. The survey can be found at floridadisaster.biz. This is Rachel Lene with your Real Talk 93.3 local news update, brought to you by McEnmore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at McEnmoreSystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. Overcast skies this afternoon with scattered rain showers likely. Highs level off around 54. North winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Scattered rain showers likely tonight. Lows dip down to about 42. Cloudy skies expected. Chance for scattered showers again tomorrow. Highs around 59. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times. This report is brought to you by the Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Right now, 48.
Tallulah CBD and Juice Bar on Market Street and in Bannerman Crossings has all your Valentine's Day flowers and chocolates. But I'm not talking about red roses in heart-shaped boxes. Shop for the newest Delta 8 vape and flower products, plus Delta 8 chocolates for just $3.99. CBD massage oils, CBD bath bombs, and a selection of enhancing products to really feel the love this Valentine's Day. Come see the ladies at Tallulah for everything you need to love your Valentine.
If you weren't the owner of Gordo's and all those wonderful restaurants, Eddie, what would you be doing?
You know, I think I'd want to be I don't know what I'd want to be, a boat captain or a cowboy.
You know how to use a lasso?
No.
You'd have to do that if you were a cowboy.
Yeah, but I've never even been on a horse. It's not my place to be on a horse.
I agree. And the horse thanks you. Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
Here's what you missed on the Greg Tish Show.
Of 97 patients, 33 are vaccinated, and 63% are considered incidental.
See, this is what I'm upset about. He's basically made up the percentages to look like it's at 100%, but the two are not related to each other.
What's 37% of 97?
It's 35.89.
So why in the hell can't he literally ask iPhone include that in his articles?
Maybe he's got an Android.
The Greg Tish Show, Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m., only on Real Talk 93.3. F. Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
Occurred, and I will not forget how it occurred, Tom. Next year, you're going to have to censor me before we play Louisville.
That's a big game. We got an extra period of time just to focus on that game and that game alone. Early bye week.
Those sons of bitches.
Any interest in that, Rhodey? I mean, you play the
Yeah.
game on a Friday. You
Yeah.
could spend a Saturday on the trail.
I would have been happy to. I would be happy to take it on down the road up to Louisville and have a good time. Sure.
Maybe we could find what Chris Mack is doing. Hang out.
Yeah, and Mac doesn't strike me as a fun guy to hang out with. Whereas some of these guys that we don't think highly of on a one-night basis might be fun to hang out with. Chris Mack doesn't strike me as the type.
No.
He's angry. He's a very angry man.
He's got some big East elitism. I can sense that a mile away. My family's got that in it. And he fits that mold where it's like you're at that table at the family reunion. No, thanks. Everybody's talking about their own accomplishments and how great they are.
You want to go through all these really quickly? It's the week, man. It's so much fun. Here we go. T. Higgins, longest reception under or over 24 yards.
Ooh, good number.
You like that?
It's going to be an over. It's going to be an over because he's going to draw the second best assignment.
All
Yeah.
right. We're just scratching the surface. Joe Mixon under 28.5 receiving yards. Or do you go over? I like Joe Mixon, the player, not the person, but I like the player.
Yeah, he's a 40-40 player, so you got to play over, right? Like, that's usually his production level.
Yeah, he's a good player. By the way, I meant to double down on the T. Higgins stuff. Over under 5.5 receptions.
Under.
Yeah.
Tyler Boyd's going to have a lot of catches in this game.
Cooper Kupp, longest reception, 28.
That's got to be an over. They've had a month to come up with a play. And if he's in one-on-one at any point, he's going to win that battle.
Will there be a missed extra point?
Good
Minus
question.
330.
Minus 330 for a no.
Mhm.
How about a yes? Was it plus what?
I
180?
didn't see it posted right
Okay.
now. Opening kickoff, I already told you about, right?
Is it still plus 150? I've been
yeah.
slacking.
Yeah.
Okay. Got to jump on that today.
It's kind of fun. Like this, you can sit around with all these things and these throughout the day and throughout the week, we'll go through a lot of these just because you can have the most amount of fun and be sensible about it. I mean, a lot of this stuff, it's, educated guesses are important and you have to kind of know what you're looking at. But at the same time, some of these are just pure chance.
I told our mutual friend Bill about the opening kickoff over at Corner Pocket yesterday. And
He was
when
like,
I said
"Ooh."
plus 150 and the look, he turned, he goes, really?
Yeah,
Plus 150?
yeah, right. I couldn't believe it. I was like, okay, well, I'll take that bet. You'll remember that joke. Yeah. So the where it sits now, by the way, is the total is what 48.5, and I think Rams favored by 4.5. I think that's pretty consensus. I looked at Wynn, Caesars, Mirage, Golden Nugget, Circa, Westgate, South Point. Yeah, 4.5, 48.5 total. I'm going over.
Yeah, I think it's over, which I think if it goes over, it favors whom? Cincinnati, right?
Yeah, I would think. Although, yeah, I do. I have to tell you, I do think that's going to be a bit of a shootout. Surprisingly, I think that Cincinnati's just going to have to sling it and I don't know that they can protect him to do so. So, but I've told myself over and over again, I don't know how they win this game, and then they do. So
We got Lee Sterling Friday, right? He always does the props as well.
he does.
He likes to do the mix and match, like a certain amount of points in the NBA that day versus receiving yards for Joe Mixon, something along those lines. He always finds those ones.
This might be the week, by the way, where you kind of we belong. We have a thing here openly. We talk about it all the time with Prize Picks, and this might be the week to really have a good time and use our promo code Warchant and maybe join Prize Picks, because you can get all kinds of fun things grouped together, whether it be an NBA total, a player's total from a from a league, from the NBA, for example, or from college game or whatever it might be, and then you can take a Super Bowl total and mix them and match them. You can have a lot of fun with it, and you just continue to increase your odds with all this bonus stuff that they add into Prize Picks, where I don't know what it's called when you get the 3. What is it?
It's a multiplier.
It's a multiplier, yeah, but it'd be beyond. I thought it was called something specific beyond a multiplier. It is a multiplier. You're right, but whatever that is, like I always try to do that. Just a little pizza money, baby. Just a little pizza money here and there.
It's just it keeps settling in that this is going to be the worst uniform Super Bowl of my life. And it'll be a tough one to beat.
I don't really. Do you really worry about it?
I do. I do.
Yeah.
Well, because the Super Bowl is more for show. It's a surface level watch. I mean, we could break it down play by play, but that's usually just kind of an experience, especially after last year when you're locked in on every play. Like this year is a kickback, and it's almost like a celebrate one last time.
I watched the luge. I watched a little bit of the Winter Olympics over the weekend. Didn't think that I would, but I'm always drawn to the uniqueness, given that we live in Florida, of a lot of these events. And I was watching the cross-country skiing and shooting and all that, and I was watching that with Bryce, and he said, well, how does anybody get into this? This looks really hard. I go, yeah, I agree. It looks exceedingly difficult, doesn't it?
Live in Norway. You'll figure it
I was
out.
going to say, they're getting tired of being stuck in their home all day. They're like, let's go do something outside. But it looks, I don't mind all of the giant slalom stuff I watch. I watch the speed skating. I enjoy that. Love the luge, love the bobsled, ski jumping. I like a lot. Again, there's several things I do like, but all the speed skating stuff is really, by the way, I don't know how it's taken me this long, because I go all the way back to Jansen and all these other guys to figure out that a lot of the qualifying rounds before they get to the medal rounds in the speed skating, whether it's the distance or the short track, is crazy, by the way. That it's
dangerous.
Dangerous. But every time I watch those events, I think, this is a free-for-all. There are no rules here, Smokey. You can do whatever you want. People coming off the line elbow and noses.
Yeah. There's like an accepted space that you have to give somebody, but yet you can really nudge if you want to. Yeah, it's an interesting sport.
Yeah, it's a very fascinating sport. I'm trying to get a sense of the rules. Like off the line, it is just there's a lot of get off me. And this is incredible.
The way the blades are on the skates, a little bit different, obviously. So they're just out there dangling in case you fall. Ouch.
I watched a ton of it just thinking to myself, they're not having it. Like you come off that, and that makes the sport all the more appealing. That not only are you going at light speed and the lean and the unbelievable athleticism and sort of the danger that's inherent to the sport, but also there's this nastiness at the starting gate, which I think just adds to, you're like, okay, so I can just elbow this chick. I was watching the ladies, sorry. I can elbow this woman in the face, because that would be something if it wasn't like, all right, here you go, sweet cheeks. But no, you're like, there you go. I'm watching this, and I'm like, man, these girls are not having it.
There's a little roller derby to it. Yeah, absolutely.
It was fantastic. I loved it. You didn't watch any?
I watched some of the curling. There was the mixed pairings is weird. I just can't get a feel for that. But the Canada-Switzerland match yesterday afternoon. And then once golf came on, I kind of lost interest and I was watching the golf instead.
First year that I didn't realize the Pro Bowl was on while it was on.
Oh, yeah.
So we've come an awful long way with the Pro Bowl, which was always a sorry event, but it's become increasingly sorrier. And I know 41-35 AFC, whatever. It doesn't really matter. I don't know why they keep score. I don't really think that anybody's actually trying at all in that event. The NFL has got to get it. They do a lot of things right. Just stop with the nonsense.
I'd rather watch the skills competition with the holes in the wall and you're trying to throw it by a guy. That's really fun.
100% correct.
The 40-yard dash thing was cool. They didn't try that hard, but they tried hard enough and they can fly.
yeah, I think when you watch with the hockey, when you see the skills contest, really even true, I think you could do something with baseball, but all of the skills, because what we marvel at with professional athletes isn't that they play the sport, because most of us grew up playing the sport. So it's like, oh, I know what it's like to play basketball. Maybe not at that level, but I know what it's like to play basketball. I know what it's like to play football. I know what it's like. If you're from the Northeast, you might know what it's like to play hockey. But when you watch the guys who make it to that level, just like we know what it's like to play golf, just not what it's like to shoot a 62. So when you watch, you're really marveling not at the sport, but the skill set, that the unique skill set. Well, nobody needs to see the Pro Bowl because all those guys are scared to death about getting hurt. Nobody wants to get hurt. So do something that showcases the preternatural abilities of these players.
Max Crosby cared yesterday
about
playing the Pro Bowl.
I didn't see any of it.
Yeah,
I didn't see a second.
It was on Vegas Wall, different channels. But yeah, my solution would be simple. You do the skills competition, and then you find out of every year's crop of Pro Bowl players, you offer them enough money that they would notice to coach a game of players who are unrestricted free agents, over-the-hill guys looking for one more chance, and you have a few days to put a couple of practices together, and now these guys can put it on film for the league and for scouts and get a chance. Put real film out there, what they're doing right now, what they look like right now, and maybe they might get a call to be on a practice squad or a tryout for the preseason. Because those guys that would be their chance. You could make a reality series out of it, all of it. It would be so cool.
Circling back to where I started with this really quickly, here's from David Purdom, who does such a good job for ESPN covering the gambling landscape. Everything from different books, different odds, different prop bets, different player bets, different winnings from card games, everything. David Purdom has got the coolest assignment, and he looks like a guy that should be covering gambling for ESPN. He looks like a guy that before he was tabbed to cover gambling for ESPN was in fact a degenerate gambler for all of his life. And now he's putting it to good use as a writer covering gambling. And he writes, what would become the most lucrative Super Bowl to date for Las Vegas sportsbooks began with a massive loss on the very first play of the game. In NFL history, only 6.8% of regular season games, approximately 1 in 15, have included a safety, that according to Elias Sports Bureau. Yet, year after year, the betting public loads up on a safety occurring in the Super Bowl, despite odds nowhere close to 15-1. The going price for a safety in the Super Bowl this year is 7-1. Meanwhile, savvy pro bettors annually short the Super Bowl safety, sometimes waiting until just before kickoff to risk hundreds of thousands of dollars for a chance at winning a few $1,000s. Sportsbooks align themselves with the pros on the safety prop and end up with tons of small bets on the yes at long odds and a handful of giant wagers on the no that pay only a little bit. All right, so laying a big price is not sexy, said Rufus Peabody, a professional bettor. If it wins, you don't win a lot. If it loses,
the black sheep in his family.
I
Rufus?
love Rufus Peabody, a professional bettor. If it wins, you don't win a lot. If it loses, you lose a lot. I see why the average recreational bettor doesn't like laying a big price like that. If I made one bet a year, I probably wouldn't want to risk $1,000 to try to win 100. Indeed, football's rarest scoring play routinely produces one of the biggest pros versus Joes gambling decisions on the Super Bowl. And on February 2nd, 2014, the squares bested the sharps and the bookmakers with, depending on your perspective, the most lucrative or most expensive safety in NFL history. Remember the game?
That's Peyton Manning against the Seahawks.
That's exactly right. And it was a 43-8 route.
And we thought, that's a strange start to a game. Okay, well, Peyton will get it back. Nope, never did.
Yeah, go read the rest of that story. It's lengthy and it's fun, and you learn about somebody making a ton of money because of that safety and the history of people betting on the safety, which is interesting, but maybe just as interesting is all the people. I want to know what the handle is on the coin toss. People bet the coin toss every year. Most everybody bets the coin toss because why not? I mean, why would you not?
Better than roulette.
Yeah, you better bet the coin toss. How could you not bet the coin?
That's right.
I want to know what the handle is, though. The total for all the books on the coin toss. It's got to be
Show some chutzpah. Let's go. Pure gambling. This is pure gambling right here.
Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Highway 27 Grill and Barbecue just north of Havana have become your destination for the best food either side of the state line. But what if you want fresh seafood? Say no more. Kenny and the crew have got you covered with seafood so fresh, the only way you'll get it fresher is if you grow a set of gills. Highway 27 Grill and Barbecue, 1 mile north of the last light in Havana. Highway 27 Grill and Barbecue, open 7 days a week. Get your fill at the grill.
For about 50 years, Paul's Termite and Pest Control has been protecting homes and businesses for thousands of people right here in the Big Bend. And we're quite proud of that. Fact is, all of us here at Paul's have families, and nothing is more important to us than their protection. By providing effective termite and pest treatments, we know we're aiding many right here in our community.
Paul's Termite and Pest Control performs many services designed for the protection of your family and your home. Programs like Pro Shield Complete, which encompasses termite and general pest control in one low-cost quarterly treatment plan. This program is environmentally friendly and is almost exclusively limited to exterior treatments, meaning pests and termites never enter your home. Termite programs like Centricon, a service which requires no invasive drilling or liquid applications. Plus, our lawn care team keeps lawns and ornamentals green and healthy.
Protection of your family, your home, and our environment all are very important to each of us at Paul's. To learn more about our many programs, please visit us at callpauls.com.
For the elimination of termites or any other pests.
And a greener lawn, too.
Call Paul's. We'll get them all. Well, so far this month has already been a long, cold year. But nothing breaks up the cold like a cozy, warm fireplace in your home from Hearth and Patio. You may not know this, but many of today's modern, environmentally friendly indoor fireplace designs offer amazing energy efficiency. And when you get a new fireplace installed by Hearth and Patio, they will also service the equipment to make sure it lasts for years to come. Something else you may not know, Hearth and Patio can also repair your existing fireplace. I'm going to read you a recent review from a real customer. Donna says, our gas fireplace stopped working at a time when we experienced our coldest weather. I called other companies, but the earliest they could send someone out was 10 days. Then I called Hearth and Patio, and they had a technician at my house the next day. He not only was friendly, he fixed the problem and never tried to sell me something I did not need. It was so refreshing. I would not hesitate to call Hearth and Patio again. So the moral of the story is, when you need a fireplace repaired, replaced, or installed, just call Hearth and Patio at 727-4282 or find them online at hearthpatiotallahassee.com.
There's fun to be had every night at the Corner Pocket. Take home prizes on Trivia Tuesdays and Beer Bingo Thursdays. And kickstart your weekend with Martini Fridays. Plus, happy hour runs every weekday and game day specials every time the Noles take the field. Watch all the best games at the Corner Pocket's Vegas wall, featuring 560 inches of flat screen TV heaven.
Oh, really?
The best food, the best drinks, and the best place to watch all the games. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
You getting in fights at a casino. What are we doing?
We're gambling.
Yeah, but how that leads to fights. Maybe with yourself, maybe some poor decisions. That NFL note coupled with this
Never
NFL
should have played
note.
war. That lady had a look in her eyes. That dealer. This is stupid.
Did you know? I'm going to ask you the question. Did you know? The answer to this question is yes. You probably did, but that Lovie Smith was still in the league.
Yeah. Oh, I read this story. Oh no,
Man, imagine being a Texans fan. You're like, really? Okay, this is what we're doing. So they fired David Culley, who they owe 20-something million to after this one season. And I just got done talking about the ultimate kiss my ass on Main Street moment for David Culley. Good for you, sir.
he's out. He's free.
He's free. He's made 20-something million dollars. He can do whatever.
Go
the
right
hell
back
he
to the
wants.
Ravens.
Oh,
yeah, pay me $20. I'm
David
good.
could go right to the beach is what he could do. But I mean, goodness gracious. And then, so you're a Texans fan. You're like, okay, we got a long ways to go. Who's the visionary? Who's the man we're bringing in here to lead us into the future? Lovie Smith. No, there was the time. Like when Lovey won Coach of the Year in 2005. That's when Lovey Smith actually won Coach of the Year.
Yeah.
2005.
Urlacher helps.
Well, that team was good.
That team was good.
The team was
That
good.
team was good.
I mean, he won the NFC North 3 times, Tom.
Yeah.
Good on you, Lovey. There was a time when that career was extremely well thought of, and rightfully so.
It was, I mean, it was lauded when the Buccaneers hired him as their head coach. Good hire. Solid hire.
Well, yes.
It was lauded. I'm not saying that it was right.
Yeah, he went 8-24 in the time there in Tampa, and most of the time looked absolutely overwhelmed as guys just attacked the antiquated Tampa 2 over and over and over again, and never had to worry about in-game adjustments. So
we had a Thursday night.
Records were quite literally set. Baltimore set a record.
Baltimore on
us.
a Sunday afternoon. They nearly scored 35 and a quarter. And
this is the NFL football game we're talking about.
The Falcons on a primetime night. It was in Atlanta. Just no resistance. It was like we had 7 players on the field.
Here's what I would tell you. Okay, so he's 63 years old. Is that right? So
sounds about right.
I think
he was their DC last year. We joked about that a few times during the season. Like, what?
You could hire Lovey if you said you're not actually in charge of anything except for the team. Like, you will tell us all when we're meeting, when practice is going to happen, then your coaches are going to do what they do. You're the CEO of what we're operating here. I could see that. He's been in the NFL his whole life. He's, obviously
he's seen what works.
Yeah. So I could see that. He could bring that to the table. If you need him for his insightful, innovative ideas, fresh ideas, no, we're not. That ship has sailed. There was a time, no doubt. Not to besmirch the man's career. He's had an incredible career.
It's like, let's go get Mike Martz. What?
Right. I think everybody's moved on. We're going to move on too. I saw that and I thought, man, the poor Texans. And, it's...
They had 5 minutes, and they didn't really do much with that 5 minutes.
Also, this is the question that was asked at the start of this week, and that is, and the answer is a resounding yes. And I was surprised to hear this as sort of posited by all the shows to cover Super Bowl week. If the Rams lose the Super Bowl, is the season a bust? 100%. Yes. They only did what they did, which is to throw away any real future to win the Super Bowl. Like, you don't go all in to get to the Super Bowl. You go all in to win the Super Bowl. That's what this is. That's what it always is when you decide to throw away all your draft picks and have any chance of re-signing, some of these free agents. You're out of money. There's no cap room. You have no draft picks. You did it to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, this is where I would agree with what your mom said a couple of weeks ago in the NFL pick segment. You were mentioning that they're going all in, they're mortgaging the future. And my thought immediately was, I wonder where McVay's coaching in 3 or 4 years, because he strikes me as a guy that would resign and then go take a job where it's on the upswing and not wade through those waters. Like, he just get out once he realizes, oh, this is a mess. I'm out of here. Kind of like what Sean Payton is doing in New Orleans.
You have to have a special situation where you understand, like, you and management have an understanding that, look, I've taken the team to 2 Super Bowls in my time here, and I'm still super young. Obviously, I'm considered one of the best coaches in the league and youngest and brightest minds in the league. So you wanted to ante up. I wanted to ante up. We decided to do it. Now, am I good to go if we're 2-14 in 2 years while I'm trying to flip this roster and we're trying to get, free up money and do all? Because if the answer is yes, I'll stay. I can live with it. I can build it. I'm saying he
strikes me as a guy that might have had that conversation, but still is thinking about, all right.
I mean,
who's going to be on the rise?
Yeah,
I'll take over for Saleh and the Jets when Wilson gets going.
I'm nostalgic in a weird way, though. I do long for a time when the Don Shulas of the world and Tom Landrys of the world were there forever and ever and ever, and they weathered the storms. Hour number 2 forthcoming. Stay with it.
Coming up next, more of the Jeff Cameron Show. Live and local on Real Talk 93.3. WVFT, Gretna, Tallahassee.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Jason Walker. Key talks today as world leaders try to stave off a Russian invasion into Ukraine. President Biden is hosting German Chancellor Olaf Scholz and French President Emmanuel Macron in Moscow. He's been meeting with Vladimir Putin. Talks to revive Iran's 2015 nuclear deal will resume Tuesday.
The EU, which chairs the talks in Vienna, has announced this week's resumption. Diplomats from Britain, France and Germany had said when talks had paused after a month on January 28 that the negotiations were reaching the final stage, and that required political decisions. On Friday, Secretary of State Antony Blinken signed several sanctions waivers related to Iran's civilian nuclear activities, the move reversing the Trump administration's decision to rescind them. Iran's foreign minister had on Saturday welcomed the sanctions relief, but called it insufficient. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
Also at townhall.com, it is costing more to tank up.
Gas prices rose 8 cents a gallon this week, which puts the average price at $3.42 a gallon. That's according to GasBuddy.com. The national average is almost $1 more than it was last year, and prices are expected to continue to go up. And that almost always has to do with the price of oil, which is now $93 a barrel. Patrick DeHaan, the head of petroleum analysis at GasBuddy, says oil prices are up due to the continued concerns over Russia invading Ukraine and that there won't be enough supply to meet demand this summer. I'm Shelley Adler.
American skateboarder and social media influencer Josh Newman, one of 4 men killed over the weekend when a sightseeing plane crashed into a lake in Iceland. The 22-year-old Newman was on a flight to create some commercial content. More on these stories at townhall.com.
At Harry's, we know that Valentine's Day is about following your heart and sometimes making a change. So if your old razor isn't giving you the shave you deserve, this is the year to break things off and switch to Harry's. Our starter set has everything you need for a better shaving relationship. And if you go to harrys.com right now and use code SRNGOLD at checkout, you can get it for just $3. This Valentine's Day, treat yourself, or any shavers in your life, to the gift of looking sharp. Our starter set has everything you need for a close, comfortable shave: a weighted handle, a 5-blade German razor cartridge, foaming shave gel, and a travel cover. And that's not all. Harry's also donates 1% of sales to nonprofits that provide mental health care services to men in need. So if you or your special someone need to get out of a bad shaving relationship, just head over to harrys.com right now and use code SRNGOLD at checkout to get our trial set for just $3 and start fresh. That's everything you need to start fresh for just $3 when you use promo code SRNGOLD at harrys.com.
Tallulah CBD and Juice Bar on Market Street and in Bannerman Crossings has all your Valentine's Day flowers and chocolates. But I'm not talking about red roses and heart-shaped boxes. Shop for the newest Delta 8 vape and flower products, plus Delta 8 chocolates for just $3.99. CBD massage oils, CBD bath bombs, and a selection of enhancing products to really feel the love this Valentine's Day. Come see the ladies at Tallulah for everything you need to love your Valentine.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
Broadcasting live from Florida's capital city, this is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness on Real Talk 93.3. Now, stop what you're doing and listen closely. It's time for the Jeff Cameron Show in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
1998. Tom, I bring it up because go ahead and get angry. If you look at those uniforms, woo-hoo-hoo, 98 is where it's at. Look at them. They're gorgeous.
Were they the garnet pants that day?
Nope, gold pants. It's a home game. It's Winky going for 338, 2 touchdowns. Peter Warwick, 3 receptions, 125 yards and a touchdown. It's a fun game.
It's College Football Classics on Twitter?
At Classics CFB.
Cool. I've never followed them before.
Yeah, I don't think it's a huge – I don't think it has a huge following. I stumbled across them. Here I am giving them love. I don't know. It could be run by a bunch of malcontents. I don't know. Could be – who knows? But the point is it's got occasionally a little something for all of us.
Oh, yeah. Those unis look good.
Aren't those nice?
We cannot share that. I didn't realize it was a video clip. I thought it was a still. That would get us in trouble.
But look at those. There it is.
Yeah, those are nice.
Woo!
Someday, buddy. Someday.
Yeah, I was there that night. I'm just noting, but yeah, that's the one. You and I would walk into the room and say, "Okay, we're getting this right once and for all." There it is. That's
right.
it. We're done.
Well, it's like when the Buccaneers went back to it. That's a short meeting. You want to do what we did before? Yeah. Okay, done. There's your meeting. That would be the meeting at Florida State for the True Garnet Committee. All of it. Like, it'd have a great name. We'd be in the boardroom. Hey, do you guys want to do what we had in 13 for the championship? Yeah. Great.
Good. I like
Call
it.
Nike.
Yeah, this was easy.
Thanks, everybody. Great work.
Recap real quick if you missed it when we started the show. Not a great weekend for Florida State, obviously, starting with basketball. The Noles fall yet again. This season appears to be a lost season. Very interested to see what Coach Hamilton and staff do this offseason. We're not used to this, and I like that we're so spoiled and that we've gotten so spoiled over the last 5 years that this kind of doesn't sit right, does it? To be in the midst of important basketball games throughout the country, and I'm watching a ton of college basketball right now, and to just feel like we're not part of it at all, it hurts. But the only reason it does is because we've grown to have real expectations of our program. And for a long time, this was just the norm. But it's not anymore. It's not normal for us to be sort of an also-ran without little in the way of prospects. And for Florida State, it's insult to injury every week right now. Not only are they in the midst of a losing streak, but they've already lost Malik Osborne for the season. They lost Naheem McLeod basically for the season. Anthony Polite misses this game due to injury. Just one guy after the next. Butler misses the second half of this game. He gets hurt in game. So we're just constantly dealing with stuff that is awfully difficult to overcome, and they're not able to. And they didn't shoot it well. Wake turned it over a gazillion times, 26, I think, to be exact. Gave us a chance to be in this game. It was a 4-point game, under 3 minutes to play. You're holding out hope, but I think they ran out of gas. They just don't have a lot going for them right now. Caleb Mills leads the way with 15 points, 10 in the second half. I think gave everything he had. Matthew Cleveland just doesn't shoot the ball well at all, and it's very frustrating because if he did, he'd be a 20-point-a-game guy, but he doesn't. His baskets come at the rim, which
makes
is
it
fine.
interesting. The offseason, whatever calls he's getting or people are whispering in his ear, it'll be interesting to see how that goes.
Yeah, I wonder Corey and I talked about this last night on the Smash, but, when it comes to pro prospects or any one-and-done candidate, a lot of times people conflate whatever it is they did in college for that singular season to their pro value. And, of course, the two are not linked, really. It's about your body type and your upside and what you're going to grow into and what they think you'll become when you get to concentrate on basketball full-time with pro coaches year-round. It changes everything. I mean, obviously, Scotty Barnes right now in the NBA is an entirely different looking player than he was here in the college game. But he was drafted based on that wingspan, that body type, the physicality, his age, all of the factors that you would look at to say he projects incredibly well. But also the league is a very different league. It doesn't play the way college basketball does. And so when you watch guys transition, sometimes they go from looking, fairly pedestrian in the college game to right off the bat, a much better version of themselves in a more difficult league. And people have a hard time reconciling that. Wait a minute. He's better in the pros than he was here. How's that even possible? Well, again, he's got pro coaching. It's year round. He's paid to do nothing but play basketball incessantly. And also the rules are different. So, you can go ahead and make a run at the rim and play downhill if you're a big body, long-armed leaper like him, because anytime you get anywhere close to the top of the key, people are either going to move or get dunked on because there are no charges. Not in the NBA because they're men. And in college, referees just want to call a charge a second.
And
it's
half-court defensive rotations are different, all that
very
stuff.
different.
Yeah.
All of it's different. So I say all of that to say this. Matthew Cleveland, you look at him and you see how springy he is and how twitchy he is and how thick he is, and people are going to go, yeah, he can't shoot. Well, we'll teach him to shoot. He's young. We'll teach him to shoot.
Right, but the question is, with the shooting touch, I think this is a bit of a different animal in terms of what your guaranteed money would be as a pro prospect.
Well,
right
how far
now.
down do you fall? Right.
Right.
Yes.
And
yes.
so if you're trying to make sure that you maximize your guaranteed money, if you work on your shot one more year, you're not going to be any less explosive after another season of college seasoning. Use that word twice, but you get the point. If he works on his shot, shows improvement, puts that out there on tape, then maybe you're talking about a lottery pick next year. That might not concern him. Maybe it's start the clock sooner, get me my money faster. Fine, whatever you want to do. But this one is a bit of a different animal to me than some of the.
Oh, it's definitely a different animal than yeah. So
like Jonathan Isaac needed not come back. There was no way. You got to go get your money now.
Yeah, and there was no reason for Scotty Barnes to come back.
Or Patrick Williams. Yeah.
Well, Patrick Williams is a freak. It's a shame he got hurt. But
the Beasley one was interesting, but what more are you going to be? You're a shooter. You're a shooter and you're a perimeter player. So there wasn't anything more you could learn. In this case, there is a finite thing that you could point to as a flaw that might cost him some cash.
I think if he falls down to where it's a question whether or not he'll go in the first round, then you got a shot at getting him back. If he's a guaranteed first rounder, you got no chance to get him back. He's going to take you on down the road.
Oh.
But the drop off between first and second round and the guaranteed money is so significant that you don't take that chance.
Also, I'm sure they probably know the answer anyway over there in the basketball facility, not just because they see him every day, but because you know whether a kid's going to class or not. And one and dones tend to not here necessarily, but just in general, one and dones don't focus on the spring semester very much. So you could probably guess based upon at least that.
It's funny with Patrick Williams, though. It is interesting to watch how quickly you can assess a guy and say, let's just ignore the numbers and let's look at him. And with Patrick Williams, I think within 10 games, you and I were kind of like, oh, well, that's that.
Yeah.
That's the end of that.
Might have gotten into conference season a little bit, but you didn't get to this point in the calendar and not know. By the February of that year, like, yeah, well, let's just see how good he can be before he leaves.
Yeah, we knew then. We were like, it's over. He is taking it on down the road, and he's such a talent. So I root for all these guys. It's good for Florida State. It's these kids that come here have to acquiesce, as I've described many times, to a certain set of rigors and disciplines that a lot of kids don't have to deal with at other programs. But Hamilton is ensuring that those guys, no matter how talented they are, fall under a set of parameters that he's had in place for a very long time. And that ensures that everybody be able to play together and get along. But at the same time, that's all well and good. Winning games is of the utmost importance. So when everybody's winning, people are free to come off the bench and they're happy to do it. When you're not winning games, it does get a little dicey. So it's going to be interesting to watch what guys do what at the end of this season and why, and who else does he bring in? Because this is not going to be a season that we're going to hang our hat on and feel real good about. It's not me ripping the staff. It's me just pointing out this is substandard to what they've established over the last 5 years. And it's also a group that's just been injury riddled with question marks as to who comes back and who doesn't.
Yeah, it reminds me of when this whole thing started with 2.0 of our program and the skill that it showed. And you'd gotten past you cited last hour. This is the first time we lost 4 games in a row since we lost 5 in a row the year of Bacon and Beasley.
Mm-hmm.
That next season, when you had the line changes and the defensive effort for 12 minutes, 15 minutes a game from Trent Forrest and CJ Walker, it's almost like those guys had to start this year. If you didn't have a frontline group of 5 at Florida State and those two had come on campus and were playing, that's kind of where we are in the experience department. And how good would Trent have looked as a true freshman if you had to count on him for closer to 30 minutes a night rather than he could give you max effort for a shorter period of time? So that's where I have my patience. But the thing is, you're right. When you're looking at this roster, it's not as simple as one more year of seasoning and we have all the answers we need. No, there are some things that need to be addressed in the offseason. It's just a matter of, is Coach Ham going to dip into the high school waters even more, or is he going to look at the transfer portal for either undergrad players or graduate transfers? Should be interesting.
Should be really interesting, I should say. Bruce wants to know, do you think a sports psychologist would help the basketball team? Well, I'll answer that.
Help the fans.
Resoundingly so. The answer is yes. I'm friends with and am followed by Dr. Brett McCabe. That was funny. Come on. You got to give me credit for that.
I don't have the mic on here. I mean, we were chuckling.
Anyhow, Dr. Brett McCabe is a clinical sports psychologist and motivational speaker, a lot of things. He is a national champion baseball player from LSU, and he is a consulting psychologist with a lot of teams, including Florida State. In terms of golf, he works with them. I think he's worked with some of the other programs. And I've had the good fortune of speaking with him about his chosen profession, of which he is an expert, and I find it infinitely fascinating. I could talk with him for hours. I think he gets bored with me, but I just ask him question after question after question after question. And the answer is for all of us that yes. I mean, you could absolutely, and I'm sure that they have access and do utilize the services of a sports psychologist. But when you're young and you're missing major pieces to the puzzle, and it's not the same every week. This guy's out for this length of time. This guy misses 2 games. This guy misses 3 games. This guy's going to miss the season. This guy hurt his hand. He's going to miss 2. It's really all of the mental conditioning and the processes one goes through to kind of be prepared for the moment, if you will, to be able to handle the anxiousness and the stress that you feel as a student athlete when things get going rough. None of it's really going to matter. They don't right now. Florida State does not have the horses. That's what this is about. This is not about like being mentally weak or having
complacent.
No, they just absolutely do not have the horses currently. And it's very, very frustrating. I just, that's what makes it hard for me to watch. It's like, you're not at full strength. You were already flawed, but when you did have your guys, you're winning games.
Yeah. Well, they can't take the Duke game back. In the 2 Miami wins, they were overachieving, and it felt that way. But we were saying it earlier in the year, if you've got a 50-50 chance to win a game, it's close, under 4 timeout, you need to win every one of those, just because you don't know when you're going to be in that position again. We are more likely to get blown out than blow somebody out, and that's before this rash of injuries because of the way we're flawed. But we fought. I mean, we got to 6-2. That was an unbelievable achievement. It looked like, I told you, the barometer for this thing is my first wedding anniversary is the first day of the tournament. It's March 17th. And Jamie and I have constantly had a conversation in the house, like, all right, are we going to dinner on the anniversary, or am I working somewhere? Am I going to Greenville to cover an NCAA tournament game? Well, I think it's safe to say now we can have reservations for that night for dinner.
I could do the selfish thing since my anniversary is actually this week, Tom. And it falls on a weekend. It falls on, how great is that, right?
That's wonderful.
It rarely happens. The selfish thing that I could engage in. Yeah. The selfish thing that I could engage in.
Gotcha.
You did get me. Is to go ahead and throw it out there. Where should we go? What restaurant should we go to?
Oh, yeah. In case any of the maitre d's are listening.
No,
yeah.
it's just an innocent question. No. I don't want a freebie at all. It's not what I'm looking for.
Unless it's a Whataburger.
I want I want to go somewhere outside of Tallahassee, I think. And I love, there are plenty of people here that I love in Tallahassee and that are friends and or business partners or both. All of that's true.
Like the athletic department, you're just going to outsource, huh?
Yeah, I'm looking around. I went to Thomasville over the weekend. There's a bustling downtown in Thomasville, Tom.
It's a big market.
But we've gone a lot of different. I'm looking for a hidden gem. A hidden gem.
It's like something that's on I-10 and
like
some people know about.
Yeah, I'm seriously looking for a hidden gem. I want somebody to be like, oh, you don't know about this over in Wassissa? No, I don't. And I just made that up. Maybe there is a great place in Wassissa. I don't know. But yes, somebody let me know. Because I'm trying to surprise my wife. She didn't listen to the program. She didn't care anything about the Jeff Cameron show. So there's no way she'll hear this. She won't know anything about it.
She cares about those super chats.
Yeah. But she wants to know. She doesn't need to know. You guys could get back to me. Next thing you know, she'll never see this on the chat. She'll never know. We'll be good to go. Somebody's going to be like, oh, have you not heard of the Stone Pony? It's right over off of wherever. And I'll be, oh, wow. Hun, guess what? This weekend we're going to the Stone Pony. She'd say, I'm not into that. And I'd say, no, you don't understand. The Stone Pony's not that. It's the Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Hi, Taco.
Hey, champ, how you doing? Pull up a pillow. Haven't seen you in a couple of days. Hey, something's different about you.
That's right. My people took me to Tally Spay, the affordable spay and neuter clinic on West Tennessee.
Tally Spay? Isn't that the place where they...
Yeah, they're a low-cost, high-volume spay-neuter clinic.
So you're saying you've had some work done?
I did. You'd think I'd be depressed, but truth is, I don't even miss them. All I know is my family is much happier now that I've been altered. My people even brought Mr. Jingles to Tally Spay.
Tally Spay, a low-cost, high-volume spay-neuter clinic open to the public, serving Tallahassee and the surrounding areas.
How you feeling, Mr. Jingles?
Ugh, you're right, he is a lot nicer. Go to tallyspay.com. That's tallyspay.com.
When you are approaching retirement, there are a lot of questions to answer. Do you have enough money to fund your income for life? How should you claim Social Security? And what's your plan for health care and long-term care? Pete Tyson and Preservation Financial Group are here to help you preserve your retirement. The team at Preservation Financial Group can help you get organized, guide you through critical retirement decisions, and create a comprehensive income plan designed around your needs. Don't leave your retirement to chance. It's crucial to understand and address relevant risk before you retire. To schedule a free, no-obligation consultation, reach out to Pete Tyson and Preservation Financial Group today. 850-523-6118. That's 850-523-6118. Or visit them online at preservationfinancialgroup.com.
Our friends at ISF work hard to help their clients solve the future. ISF is an integrated IT and management consulting firm located right here in Tallahassee, serving clients all across the country. With the new year upon us, ISF reminds you to create a clear strategy, optimize your process, and modernize your technology to meet all your goals in 2022. For more information, visit isf.com. That's isf.com. ISF, solving the future.
Your home is where your memories live, where you laugh and where you love. We understand the importance of the valuables under your roof, tangible and intangible alike. So no matter what's around the corner, we'll be there, offering you and your family the support that's made Florida Farm Bureau Insurance a trusted name for over 75 years. You deserve more. You deserve a promise. I'm Andy Cohen with Florida Farm Bureau Insurance. Please call me at 850-671-FARM. That's 671-FARM.
Hi, I'm Jeff, founder of Which Superior Sandwiches, and I'm here to tell you about our signature witch, the Wicked. Why call it the Wicked? Some say it's wicked tasty, some say it's wicked large. One thing's for sure, with oven roasted turkey, ham, pepperoni, roast beef, and bacon, as well as your choice of 3 cheeses, it definitely takes you from wicked hungry to wicked happy in just a few wicked good bites. Only at Which Superior Sandwiches.
On Wednesday, the Wicked is just $5. 5 meats, 3 cheeses, $5.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
The Jeff Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
formats or different social media or whatever it might be, just to make sure we're answering questions. And also if news is breaking, and I know right now there's not, I mean, we're all just holding on for dear life until we get to the spring game. I mean, that's kind of, let's be honest, what we're doing here. Now, this week is a little bit more interesting as the week goes on because you do get the Super Bowl, which is exciting. But that said, I saw where somebody, I was looking on Twitter during the break that this person said, I'm on the Jeff Cameron Show train, which suggests we should have already been doing this a long time ago. So I start scrolling back up to see what this is. And they're talking about NIL laws and whether or not Florida is going to, do the right thing so that we're on par with everybody else. And this person was basically quoting me saying, well, if they don't, who cares? Just go on doing what you're. Exactly.
Just make sure you don't leave an electronic trail, and there we go.
Yeah. I mean, exactly. What are we doing? Let's get with the getting I've been talking about it forever. Just whatever you have to do. I'd be the worst. I would let it slip. Mike Norvell is so buttoned up, and he is media savvy, and he does get it, and he's a smart guy, and he can read between the lines. So if I were him, I would do what he's doing, which is to be careful. But at the same time, I would do so under the full understanding that I have got to get with the getting in terms of winning some damn games. This year is a very, very important year. And moving forward, I'm no longer going to be able to have the caveat of what we've referenced several times over in his brief tenure. Now, in earnest, we're talking about winning with proof positive that there will be more winning on the way. That's what this looks like. It's like, here's a little helping of winning. You like that? There's some more of this winning coming up in the future too. Get an even larger sample size. So that's what this year is. Like if you win 8 games this year, then you're like, okay, well, that's 8 wins. All right. I like that. That was good. That was good. I'd like a little bit more.
I thought we were going to have to call a meeting. See, I don't have to.
You don't have
Beautiful.
to. That's good. Will the plate size lengthen? Will it become deeper? Will I get more food for my investment the following year? Maybe this becomes a 9-10 win feast. If so, all right, now we're moving in the right direction. But if it's not that, then everybody's like, well, I want better portions. This is not getting it done right. That's how this is going to end up. So I would cheat my ass off, knowing that I got to get there in a hurry. Whatever I got to do.
Who's going to be the state's attorney who comes after a university for NIL laws if they're trying to bring better talent and more money to the state?
Correct. They're not. Yeah. Let's go. There's no reason. This shouldn't even.
It probably isn't a debate.
I would hope not.
It's just that you got to be careful about phone calls versus emails and texts.
Yeah, man. I mean, if we're all in a room and we're having this,
there it is.
My downfall would be that we'd all be in the room and somebody would have been out to get me, and it would be the most hilarious tape that the nation ever heard from a coach. Earlier today, Coach Jeff Cameron.
That's what you'd have to worry about is like another coach, who's in cahoots with Lane.
Yeah. Because I could see it. It would be like, what are we talking about over here, Steve? Of course you need to pay that kid his money and get him a deal. We talked about this already.
Fellas, we are talking about cheating. And breaking NIL
and how
laws.
For it I am around every turn. If you're not cheating, you will be fired.
I cannot make this any clearer.
Yeah. In fact, if I find out you're not cheating to the best of your ability, every waking second of each day, I'm going to have to let you go. I'm going to fire you for not cheating.
I see Richard over there is recording this. Good. Richard, distribute this message to everybody that's in this meeting so they're reminded.
Richard. Pat him down. We may have to off Richard before the end of this meeting. Richard, you could be in some trouble. Go see my friends at Orange Theory Fitness, everybody. First class, always free. It immediately removes whatever intimidation factor you feel about Orange Theory Fitness. Some people do. I've been told that, so I bring it up a lot because I think what happens is people walk by there and they see people in there working, getting themselves in shape, feeling better about who they are. Huge strides forward in their fitness. And they think, I don't know, that looks intimidating. That looks difficult. Nope, not intimidating. It's a group workout that you feel really encouraged by because the coaching is fantastic and scientifically proven. And the people who are engaged in that workout want you to do well. You'll feel that. You'll sense that from day one. Go check them out. Orange Theory Fitness. More life, man. That's what it's about. More life. They're always incentivizing. Tell them I sent you. Go to OTF.com, OrangeTheoryFitness.com, and learn more. There's 2 locations in town. Had to make this one short because Irashafel, Warchant.com, set to join us in a moment.
Your local news now.
A live oak teen is dead and 2 others are in serious condition after a crash in Suwannee County Friday night. The 19-year-old driver and 3 others were driving a truck on County Road 136 when the truck left the road as it approached a curve, causing the vehicle to hit a tree. A 17-year-old was pronounced dead at the scene. The driver and a 20-year-old passenger from Jasper are in serious condition, and a 15-year-old has minor injuries. According to troopers, no one in the vehicle was wearing a seatbelt. The Gadsden County Sheriff's Office said it discovered and seized many handguns, rifles, and semi-automatic rifles, as well as over 1,000 rounds rounds of ammunition following an arrest Thursday. A deputy tried to pull over a black Camaro. When the vehicle saw the deputy, it took off from the area and later crashed near East King and North Madison Streets in Quincy. The driver, Omar Herrera, was captured after the crash. Herrera was charged with animal cruelty since the car crash injured his dog. Herrera was taken to the Gadsden County Jail. This is Rachel Lene with your Real Talk 93.3 Local News Update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at macklemoresystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. Overcast skies this afternoon with scattered rain showers likely. Highs level off around 54. North winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Scattered rain showers likely tonight. Lows dip down to about 42. Cloudy skies expected. Chance for scattered showers again tomorrow. Highs around 59. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times. This report is brought to you by The Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Right now, 50.
There's fun to be had every night at the Corner Pocket. Take home prizes on Trivia Tuesdays and Beer Bingo Thursdays. And kickstart your weekend with Martini Fridays. Plus, happy hour runs every weekday and game day specials every time the Noles take the field. Watch all the best games at the Corner Pocket's Vegas wall, featuring 560 inches of flat screen TV heaven.
Oh, really?
The best food, the best drinks, and the best place to watch all the games. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
If you weren't the owner of Gordo's and all those wonderful restaurants, Eddie, what would you be doing?
You know, I think I'd want to be I don't know what I'd want to be. A boat captain or a cowboy.
You know how to use a lasso?
No.
You'd have to do that if you were a cowboy.
Yeah, but I've never even been on a horse. It's not my place to be on a horse.
I agree. And the horse things you. Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
It's Congressman Michael Waltz on the Greg Tish Show.
Good morning, Congressman. How are you doing?
Hey, doing well.
Again, just what you have to go through day in and day out. I don't know how you have hair left, or like Matty Rowe, just completely bald.
Hey!
Sorry.
And the irony of it all, the progressives are the tail wagging the dog. This whole bipartisan White House is a joke. We're just watching them, eat their own.
The Greg Tish Show, Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m., only on Real Talk 93.3. The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
My man, Irash Bell, Warchant.com. If you're watching on Warchant TV, you can see him too. His smiling face right there. There he is. He's going to join us via the video, and we'll talk as we're wont to do on Mondays. Hello, Ira.
How you doing, Jeff? How's it going?
Good, and I hear you clearly, and there's no problem. This is very exciting. It's the little things.
Miracles of modern technology.
Pretty cool. Okay, so we had a little peek behind the curtain for everybody out there. Our meeting today as a staff for Warchant, and we were talking about how excited we are for coverage and all the things we're going to do for the spring game. What are you most excited about for the spring game?
I guess the whole spring, just really, probably the transfers and the newcomers. I mean, I think we have a good feel for the returning players. They've all these guys back in the secondary. We feel like we know what they've got there. We feel like we know what they've got from some of the linemen, but and some of the skill position guys and Jordan Travis wanting to see what he does. But really, I think the transfers at wide receiver is probably the biggest thing that everybody's going to be focused on. All four of those guys don't need to be stars, but can they get one or two of those guys to be, not elite wide receivers even, but just be ACC level starting wide receivers. That's going to be a big thing to watch. And then I think, defensive line, the Jared Verse, the transfer from Albany, is a guy that everybody's going to want to see. So, more now that we're into year 3, now it's about focusing on the newcomers. The last couple of years, it's been more focused on just what is this Mike Norvell team going to look like. Now I think we're looking at new pieces of the puzzle.
Yeah, I get pumped up with the idea of, okay, we're no longer kind of in neutral. Now you got to go, right? And these are the key pieces you're describing that are going to help make this go or not, based on what we learn in the spring, right? I think most people, I'll put it this way, as fans, most people are going to be nervous about the spring, possibly in a good way, right? Maybe they find and they uncover something that's possible that has not been possible over these last 2 years, right? Now that you have viable receivers, perhaps, right? All of a sudden you're like, okay, now we are set to take a huge leap forward. But if those guys don't look good in the spring, Ira, everybody's going to be like, oh my God, it's another year of this. I can't do it.
I got to think that the offense is going to look a lot better, and it's hard to say, sometimes in the spring, sometimes in preseason camp, it's, a lot of times maybe the defense has the advantage, but what we've seen the last couple of years, really since Mike Norvell's been here, and even going back before that a little bit, when you watch the receivers and the DBs go at it in practice, whether it's 1-on-1s, whether it's 7-on-7 or 11-on-11, the receivers just have such a hard time to such a degree where we felt like maybe the DBs were better than we thought they were, and then we found out in the season, no, maybe they're not great, but it's what they're going up against in practice. You just want to see some, I think that's going to be the focal point. They do bring in a couple of transfers on the offensive line. I think everybody's excited about Caden Lyles, the Wisconsin transfer on the offensive line, but I don't know that that's going to splash or make big flash plays for you. But seeing wide receivers beat man coverage, I mean, it would just be, such a big deal.
You hear the desperation in our voices, guys. You guys watching out there, you can hear it. He's like, imagine a receiver beats a defensive back. Maybe not even just once. It happens, like, let's say, repeated. You know what conversation I hope we're having midway through our coverage of spring football?
Mm-hmm.
How bad is this defense? I want us to be talking about how the secondary can't get stops. It's unbelievable. They're throwing for 400 yards of practice. They cannot stop this receiving core. I want to have that conversation because I know that that's also not true, but it would be nice for once because all we ever do now is talk about how these defensive backs are studs. Wait till this season starts. Look at that group. That's the strength. They're not the strength. They're just going up against ass.
And then we'll turn it around probably by week 2 or so. We'll get bored with that. And then we'll be like, see, no pass rush without Jermaine Johnson. Jordan Travis sitting back there all day just picking his defense apart.
Yeah, well, no, that's true too. All right, Ira, what will you be watching for the rest of this basketball season? Because the last we spoke, there were a couple of games still that we thought if Florida State could somehow find a way to muster a win, they would remain in the conversation. But they're not in the conversation, buddy. They're barely hanging on to the ding-ding. This is a problematic situation, and not all of it is their fault, but more injuries, more problems. What do they need to see? I understand phrasing, everybody. I understand phrasing. Don't worry about my holding on to the ding-ding comment. Everybody knows I'm talking about this. Everybody knows that. So bottom line, what do you want to see from here?
To me, the biggest thing is, can they keep this nucleus, especially the young nucleus, together, invested, and bought into coming back? Because my only concern right now is if I'm Leonard Hamilton, this coaching staff, is 2023. And I feel like if you get Caleb Mills and Matthew Cleveland and John Butler and some of these guys, this group back again for next season, they could be, I think they could be one of the top 10 teams in the country. I mean, those are legit NBA players. And it would be, just the sky's the limit for that team going into next season. What concerns me right now, and a lot of the questions I've been asking Leonard Hamilton is, how are these younger guys handling this? Because again, if I'm a guy that's only been here for a year, and this is not the Florida State program I signed with, when I signed with Florida State, I'm thinking we're automatic going to the Sweet 16. And right now you're looking at probably not making the tournament. So to me, if I'm Leonard Hamilton and the staff, I'm focused on making sure that all those guys are bought in. Forget about even the NBA possibilities. That's going to happen or it's not going to happen. But just making sure that they all feel good about the future here. Because if they can keep that group together, I really think 2023 could be a huge year.
How do they it's going to be interesting what they do in the offseason, Ira, if we're talking about keeping some guys, but also the incoming class isn't the greatest that they've had. I mean, I'm not disparaging kids. We'll see. But I mean,
on paper.
On paper, it's not a great class. I mean, how is Leonard going to handle the NIL, potential transfers, getting certain guys to have to leave this roster in order to make room because they don't necessarily have that. So I'm kind of curious your thoughts on how he would put all that together.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I do think he made the comment the other day, and I haven't looked into all of the regulations post-COVID and the relief that they're getting there as far as scholarship goes. He made the comment that I think he still thinks there would be relief for guys who came in, who stayed because they got that COVID year back.
Okay.
So I think there's a feeling that if you kept a Malik Osborne, maybe it wouldn't throw your roster out of whack. But again, I don't know if that's just what he's hearing or if that's actually what's in place. But I really just think that Leonard Hamilton, he's not been the kind of coach that just sends guys packing and cuts guys loose.
Of course not. No.
But because we've seen guys on this team the last few years who you would have thought he would have done that, and he didn't do that. At the same time, he knows the potential of this team, and he knows what he's got. I don't think there's any way he's going to let any of those guys leave, any of those marquee guys leave. If he wants them to stay, they can help him win because he's got a commitment to somebody else. So I have no doubt he'll work it out, and I don't know how it's all going to work out in terms of how all the pegs are going to fit in all the holes. But man, again, if he can keep this team intact, they're going to be a lot of fun to watch next year. I mean, John Butler, I think, is going to be a superstar.
I do too.
Matthew Cleveland's already on the verge of becoming a superstar. And Caleb Mills, if he doesn't have to be the guy, I think Caleb right now is in a position where he feels like he's got to score 30 for them to have a chance. So he's forcing shots and hunting shots. Yeah. If he can be just another guy in a loaded team, it could be really fun.
It's a reminder, Ira. I bring this up whenever we're kind of feeling a little depressed about what this season is unraveling towards. And that is, the only way expectations are diminished or your feelings are hurt in the midst of a problematic season like this is if you came into the season with thoughts of, right, ... And the reason we have those thoughts is because they've gone to back-to-back Sweet 16s, because in the last handful of years, Florida State's been an upper echelon to elite ACC team. We don't know how to respond right now. And that's only because we actually came into the season, as we did the year before and the year before, with expectations of a team that would be a team of significance. So on the one hand, it's a reminder of how far they've come to where we could be this disappointed right now. And on the other hand, it is bitterly disappointing because right now is where it all heats up, where you look around college basketball and you think about March Madness and you begin to get excited. And then right now, for all of us as Noles, unfortunately, the injuries have really derailed this team and we're kind of bummed out a little bit.
Well, it's just been such a roller coaster. You think about the first game of the year. I think it was a season opener. It was Penn, I think, that they played.
Yeah.
Man, where they looked like you're thinking, oh, man, this team is unreal. I mean, they played so well, even against bad competition. They just played really well. They shot the ball well.
You're right.
Then you had these periods where they looked, lost. Then they come back and win 6 straight. And you're like, okay, they've righted the ship. And even if they're not that good, is what a 6-game winning streak or first in the ACC might make you think. They're still a lot better than you thought. And man, if they could just go the rest of the season 500, a little over 500, they're in such good position now that they're going to get a decent seed in the NCAA tournament. And then the wheels just completely fall off again. And then you add in the injuries, and it's just like, man, there's just – what's crazy to me is these last few games, even with all these injuries, they've been in all these last few games. So while we can say that maybe they weren't as good as we thought when they were number one in the conference a few weeks ago,
right?
You also look at the fact that they're playing without several of their best players, and they've been in all of these recent games that they've lost. So, again, it shows you how thin the margin is, especially for a team like this. But again, I think it speaks to what they could be if those guys come back.
Always a pleasure, brother. Be good. Good to see you.
Thanks, Jeff. See you, man.
Yep. Take care. There's Ira Shafel. You got to watch him on the Warchant TV feed if you were tuned in there. And if not, you got to hear him as you normally do, which is also a good thing. Yeah, it's funny that he brings this up, Ira bringing up the way that it was such a roller coaster. Well, there's no doubt about that. In fact, when you go back through, Tom, I can almost specifically name how we were feeling at these points. So we come right back off that stretch where there were games missed due to COVID, right? And it's not too far removed from losing to Purdue resoundingly, Syracuse disappointingly, losing to South Carolina 66-65, right? You mixed in a win against Lipscomb before all that. And then you miss all these games, UCF, North Florida, BC, all those games. And when you come back, this is what you do. You come back and you beat Louisville. You come back, you beat NC State. You lose to Wake. You're like, oof. Then you beat Louisville, you beat Miami, you beat Syracuse, you beat Duke, you beat North Florida in a makeup game, you beat Miami, and you're thinking, holy moly, they figured it out.
And those are short week games, too. You had 4 games in 7 days.
You're like, here we go. And now, unfortunately, if it wasn't clear before, it is certainly clear now that when you lose to Georgia Tech convincingly, and you lose to Virginia Tech pretty convincingly. And you lose to Clemson. And now you lose again to Wake, and you're losing bodies along the way. I mean, you can make an argument. We'll see, because they're resilient and they're tough, and I admire the way they battle. But they'll probably beat Pitt coming up this week, a couple days from now. 9:00 tip, by the way.
Is that here or in the cafeteria?
That is here, buddy.
All right, that makes a difference.
9:00.
Always.
That's no respect. But anyhow, 9:00 for the game against Pitt. Probably win that game. Then you're on the road at Chapel Hill. You're going to lose that game. You're here against Clemson. At Duke. Ooh, no, not good. At BC. Okay, possibly. At Virginia. Not going to win that game. Notre Dame here. Not going to win that game. NC State here. Probably win that game. Maybe. And then it's off to your famed incredible run at the Barclays Center, buddy.
There it is. It's time. One magic week in Brooklyn. Don't even break out half the plays that we've built for this the Harrison Prieto show.
What a movie. One magic week in Brooklyn.
There it is.
It's Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
If you know me, you know how I feel about supporting local. You also know that I love dad jokes. So it really bugs me when somebody I know calls anyone other than Paul's Termite and Pest Control. This year marks 50 years that Paul's has been servicing our community as a family-owned business. That really means something. All treatment decisions are made right here, not some corporate headquarters 100 miles away, but right here. Local knowledge means they know exactly when and how to beat certain issues that are unique to our region. All decisions about North Florida made by North Floridians, and being local doesn't always mean small. Paul's is the largest locally owned termite, pest, and lawn company in the region, but you'll always get the small town treatment and quick service also. Paul's offers a same-day treatment guarantee if you call by noon. If you see something in the morning that's not supposed to be in your house, call Paul's and they'll get them all that same afternoon. It's that easy. For the elimination of termites or any other pest, and for a greener lawn too, visit callpauls.com.
Every great construction project, whether it's a new addition or renovation, starts with a plan. At T-Spark, we are excited when our clients contact us to assist with that plan. Through our team of architects, draftsmen, engineers, we can help you with your project's planning and design, potentially saving costs in the long run. Whether you have a residential or commercial project, we look forward to working with you. Call us today or visit us at tsparkconstruction.com. License number CGC 1525336.
Choose Hearth and Patio for custom fireplaces, maintenance, outdoor grills, kitchens, fire pits, lighting, and so much more. Check out all of Hearth and Patio's options online at hearthpatiotallahassee.com. Hearth and Patio, they keep the home fires burning.
Applications, onboarding, payroll, termination. Business owners and managers, you know these are the processes that take away too much time from what you do best. But what if there was a locally owned, responsive solution that would charge you a fraction of the big national payroll companies? Sound too good to be true? It's not. North Florida Payroll Services is Tallahassee owned for nearly 15 years. And in that time, their prices have never changed. The reason North Florida Payroll Services can do that? Exceptional customer service that constantly evolves with the latest technology. From application to termination, for turnkey service for your payroll and HR services, trust a Tallahassee expert and save yourself time and money. North Florida Payroll Services. Online at northfloridapayroll.com.
Live and living color and totally free. Subscribe to Warchant TV on YouTube, the digital home of Warchant.com. From the practice field to pregame and the phone calls afterwards, Warchant's YouTube channel is home to live programming like Seminole Headlines, Wake Up Warchant, The Jeff Cameron Show, as well as Trench Talk, a live Q&A with Noles offensive lineman Devontae Love-Taylor. Just search Warchant on YouTube and click or tap the subscribe button. That's it. It's totally free. Warchant TV on YouTube. Just another reason we're the ultimate Seminole sports source.
The Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness. 2 Tallahassee locations, Midtown on Thomasville Road and Northside in the Village Common Shopping Center. Online at orangetheoryfitness.com.
Earlier, taking over the Texans. I meant to bring this up. If you were the Texans and you wanted to make a splash and hire a really good coach, a proven really good coach, and make a splash, would you hire Brian Flores?
He was still a candidate as of late last week.
And you chose Lovie Smith?
Oh, is it done now?
Well, I mean, they're saying it's done.
Oh, boy.
You chose Lovie Smith over Brian Flores? What? Boy, the Texans.
Well, that was the risk Flores took, though.
I guess. I mean, certainly.
It shows you how dire his
Mhm.
circumstance is right now that they would go to Lovie Smith over him. That shows you what
Well, it
in
shows
the
you-
NFL's eyes.
It shows you the Texans are who we thought they were. I mean, what in the world? You got a chance at that guy?
That could be an edict from other ownership, though. You never know. Maybe they got the goods on the Texans owner, and they're like, "Hey, you're not doing this." You'd be like crossing the line on a scab or something.
Yeah, that'd be the very point of the lawsuit. You could go, and you can't do that. It's collusion. What are we doing?
Yeah, but if you're going to bring a
we-
lawsuit against the entity, I mean,
No,
we
no,
all
no.
know the drill. This is what you're putting yourself through.
Well, actually, while we're on that point, it's a class action suit. So the real important factor is, and what he's betting on, Brian Flores, is that others are going to join the suit. That'll be very interesting to see if that happens, because of the very thing we're talking about. The second you do, and we're not even talking about.
Like Hugh Jackson is a perfect person to join that suit.
Well, or if you're Brian Flores' attorneys, you would say, Hugh, I need you to stand down, Hugh. You don't need to join this. No, you stay over there, Hugh. Thanks for the shout out. We're good. Don't need you.
But that's why he can. He's like, oh, who's going to hire me as a head
Nobody,
coach?
Hugh. Nobody.
Yeah.
We don't need you, man. Nobody. But no, I just like, which of the guys that have had to endure this very thing are going to be willing to step in and say, okay, I'll put my career on the line and do it. I'll put my name on the line, which is dotted. I'll join. Because you're right. I mean, it is potentially career ending. That's a tough one, man. In many ways, it's also further bolsters Flores' conviction. I mean, to be willing to do that and to say that. He's young. I mean, he's got a career. He's got the potential to be hired during this.
Oh, he would have easily been hired during this cycle. Easily.
I would think. In fact, regardless, if I were the Texans, I get him on the cheap. Here we go. All right. I can't fathom how good a deal that would be, right? Goodness. I mean, Lovie Smith. What are we doing here? How does nobody on the Texans go, guys?
That's been my argument about Joe Webb for a long time.
Well, right.
Joe Webb getting signed off the
Repeatedly.
street.
Yeah.
Hadn't played a meaningful game since he played that one time for the Vikings when everybody was getting hurt. And there's Joe Webb getting signed 5 years after the fact.
I actually think Joe Webb is just one example that you could use, but I think it's amazing every year when we go into the offseason, and that's what we're about to do right now after this Super Bowl, but we're already in many ways, our heads are already there. You're thinking about the draft. You're thinking about all the mocks that are out. You're talking about guys that are moving up and down in positioning wise for first round, second round, what your team needs. I'm always blown away that when you do the roster check on all the teams, like let's say you just spend a morning, you're sitting around with your cup of coffee. You're like, okay, let's see who needs what, and you're starting to kind of figure it all out. You're amazed by how many names at quarterback you see where that guy's still in the league. I had no idea. I thought he retired 7 years ago. He's just been standing over there with the greatest job of all time, because the new rules and the vast majority of the rules that protect quarterbacks to the extent that they do almost guarantee you're just not going to see a backup quarterback all that frequently, not for any prolonged period of time, maybe a series, maybe a quarter, maybe a game. So you forget, oh, that guy's in the league. He wasn't even good in college.
Yeah, Garrett Gilbert. There's one.
Is he still in the league?
Yeah, he started a game this year, didn't he?
I don't know.
Pretty sure.
Garrett Gilbert did?
Yeah.
Good.
I'll double check that. But yeah, he and Colt McCoy are both in there. And he was the guy that came in for Colt McCoy in the Rose Bowl.
See? That's a great point, Tom.
Yeah.
I would. You want to cue it up here? Did I go too long, or should we break it?
Well, we got to take it straight to the top of the hour.
Fire it up. Go. Let's get some bets in here.
Hey, Big Daddy, having some Red Russians tonight?
We'll know in about 47 seconds.
To an open wing. It's picked up by Dowdy, and empty net. He scores.
Hot damn, Big Daddy's done it again. Red Russians all around, Teddy. All right, Big Daddy.
North Florida Payroll Services, locally owned for nearly 15 years, offering payroll and HR services, including full online applicant onboarding and integration into payroll. Save your company money and headaches today. Head to northfloridapayroll.com. We offered up a few of them earlier in the show and at the end of last week. But I kind of think Virginia will hang in there. I'll take the 12. I saw I got 12 against Duke. Is that game tomorrow, I think? Got to double check.
Unless it's a big Monday game.
Yeah, I got
hockey's back.
You got Virginia plus 12. It is?
Yeah, even though they had the All-Star game on Saturday, a lot of makeup games for COVID cancellations this week. Carolina, Toronto tonight, unless the Hurricanes did a bunch of partying in Vegas, which
they very well may have.
Plus 110. Carolina is a far better hockey team than Toronto. Wrong team is favored. Take the Hurricanes straight up to win tonight.
I like it. By the way, Kansas giving a point to Texas in college basketball. See, we're just peppering you now.
That's right.
Just peppering.
Peppers.
I forgot how good that is. Oh, my goodness gracious. No, but now starting really Wednesday, because tomorrow we won't do it on Seminole Headlines, but on Wednesday and Thursday and Friday, obviously, get your pen and your pad, kids.
Life spectator from the top rope. It is a big Monday game, Duke, Virginia, 7 o'clock.
All right, there we go. Thank you also, Bob. Just saw that. Appreciate you. Woo! All right, I'm taking the 12 for the Virginia. Come on now, Virginia. Don't you let me down. Don't you do this to me. Here comes Virginia. You weren't ready.
I wasn't. That was rough. It's not usually a basketball one, you know.
I got some folks in here. I haven't checked the chat until you just said somebody joined us, and I went back to look at it and realized something here. Folks are stepping up. They're giving me suggestions.
Yeah, I trust Ed. Ed's got good taste.
Yeah, he does. All right. And there's a brewery next to it, so he knows how to entice me.
Just saw Ed yesterday. Had a birthday week.
Good times. Good times.
Garrett Gilbert did play this season.
We weren't wrong about that?
Yeah, he played against Matthews Eagles on December 21st.
How did he play?
20 of 31 for $194. No touchdowns, no picks.
Anymore, if you're a backup quarterback that people don't even realize is, they're in the league, just throw the check down all day. Don't turn it over. You'll stay in the league. You don't have to do anything of any consequence.
So Matthew was checking depth charts across the National Football League.
Bet you discovered something unique.
Yeah, a guy named Logan Woodside. Do you know who Logan Woodside plays for?
No, great name. But no, I don't.
He's the backup for Tannehill in Tennessee.
Logan Woodside is.
Logan Woodside. If Tannehill went down, that's who would have been coming in.
It's the Logan Woodside show, everybody.
Apparently.
Yeah, you can keep going. Every year I come across 3 or 4 names where I go, that's not possible. There's no way. And in particular, you'll find guys that were not even good in college. Where you go, that guy couldn't play when he sucked at TCU. Now look at him. Still in the league, 6 years in.
Excellent in the meetings. Excellent.
The camaraderie, you wouldn't believe it.
Yeah. He could spy things on film too, but so he helps us.
Seminole Headlines tomorrow. Looking forward to it, guys. We'll get to your questions, headliner questions. Get them into Ira. He'll post later today, as he's wont to do. You also see it on Seminole Headlines on Facebook. So plenty of questions to get to. Good work out of you, Tom. Good work out of you, Matthew, as always. Those are the end of the games. We good? We got 3?
Yeah. We got 1 more minute to kill.
No,
so I don't know if you got any weird props.
You can play the music if you want. I'm getting out of here.
You want to give me the probables bed for a minute? I can do it. Hey, that's hopefully soon, 2 months away.
I keep being told, I'm told over and over again that we're screwed, that spring training is going to be butchered.
You always loved getting the schedule from our friends.
It was a great day. Yeah. It's the only piece of mail I ever got at ESPN that I was excited about.
Well, other than when people sent us beer like Skelfo.
I don't mean that. Yeah, people who are kind, but I'm saying for the most part, we just got whatever mail.
Yeah, if it was in an envelope, like a regular piece of.
But that day, you always knew how excited I was. You'd put it on the edge of my desk over there. I'd be like, whoa, look at that. It's the
I'd be in the back room.
Right.
You hear the echo. All right.
We got the schedule, Tom. Here we go. Be good, everybody. Peace.